Ships at sea, modern, fast, and big. Floating giants, seemingly unstoppable and unassailable as they set course for the ocean. Nevertheless, these giants are vulnerable too, and more so than it would at first seem, particularly while moored at the quay. Ports are performing better and better. Cargo handling is a high-tech business. But at the same time, ships have become more vulnerable as a result. So, what about security?
Correct. Security is becoming more and more important. As a ship security officer, I have the responsibility to protect my ship from terrorism, hijacking, stowaways, and piracy. I'm sure you remember the Aquila Lauro and the attack on the USS Cole.
These two attacks illustrate a new threat to shipping, which is becoming more and more relevant. Attacks by terrorists who won't even shy away from warships. But terrorists are not the only threat. The number of ships being attacked, robbed of their cargo, and even seized is increasing worldwide. In addition, a growing number of people are trying to get aboard as stowaways. Because of this, we will from now on be applying security standards worldwide, which have so far only applied for high-risk regions. In other words, all means of access and doors locked 24 hours a day. And every member of the crew can do their share, for instance by protecting the sensitive areas of the ship. The bridge, for example. The bridge is the brain or the nerve center of your ship. All the key functions are directed from here. Anyone who controls the bridge controls the ship. The bridge must therefore be protected against unauthorized persons at all times. The same is true of the engine room, which is like the ship's heart. The main and auxiliary engines, as well as the other machinery in the engine room, can be an important target for potential attackers. Damaged fuel lines could cause a fire. If the main engine fails, your ship is no longer able to maneuver. Similar dangers are associated with failure of the rudder. So, for the steering gear room too, unauthorized persons are strictly prohibited. Another sensitive area is the location of the CO2 cylinders for the fire extinguishing system. Without the CO2 equipment, your ship is at enormous risk in case of fire. Not to mention the fresh water tanks. Attacks aimed at your ship's supply of drinking water could pose a lethal threat to the entire crew. You should also keep your living quarters locked at all times. The entire superstructure, with its numerous entrances and potential hiding places, must always be considered a particularly high-risk area. But there are more restricted areas on your ship. Ask your SSO. The hull itself can also be a means of access for unauthorized persons if the crew isn't paying attention. A forgotten pilot ladder hanging down the ship's offshore side in port. It's easy to reach from a passing boat, and a nimble climber could get on board unnoticed within seconds. Similarly, unprotected hawse holes offer an easy though hazardous way of getting aboard. The hawse hole for the anchor chain, for instance, or the hawse holes for the mooring lines. Rats aren't the only ones who take advantage of these, but the most common error is an unguarded gangway, granting anyone easy access to the ship. If the doors are not locked or are even standing ajar, reaching the most sensitive areas of the ship undiscovered is a simple matter. The bridge, the engine room, or the crew's living quarters. The possible consequences are unthinkable. To prevent this from happening, the IMO has put new regulations in place known as the International Ship and Port Facility Security Code, or ISPS Code for short. Among other things, the ISPS Code dictates which security measures must be observed on board. One important new aspect of this is that a ship security officer, or SSO, must be appointed on every ship. This SSO is in charge of security on board, which includes training the crew. Here, he's instructing a crew member in the duties associated with control of gangway access. Every visitor on board must be entered in an access control list, stating his or her name, company, visitor ID card number, and the date and time of arrival. It's very important that every visitor be given an ID card for their stay on board, which must be worn where it can be seen easily.
Okay, that's it. Thank you, sir. I understood.
From now on, this form of access control will be mandatory for every visitor. Here, it's already working quite well. Personal details are recorded, signed for, and a visitor's ID card issued. The SSO is satisfied. Wearing a visitor's ID card is obligatory for all persons on board who are not members of the crew, which includes workers involved in loading and unloading cargo. This checker is about to get into trouble. Every crew member is obliged to detain unknown persons without a visitor's ID card until their identity has been established.
Oh ja.
Wait a moment. No ID? May I see your papers, please?
Doch, ich habe eine. Warte.
Purpose of your visit on board?
Container, checken.
Checking containers. Okay, no ID. Please step back, sir. A moment.
Komm, was ist denn hier los? Ich hab die
I'll
doch.
check this.
Ah.
Please come down, sir.
hab die hier, irgendwo hab ich
check
sie
it.
hier.
Please step back. Officer on duty, please come in.
The crew member reacts the right way. He calls for the duty officer.
Here, officer on duty.
Yes, sir. I have a problem here. There's a gentleman without an ID on board our ship.
Ich hab eine.
Where are you?
I'm on port side, bay 53.
Okay, wait there. I'll come.
Yes, sir. I'm standing by. I'm waiting for further instructions. Yes, sir. I'll be waiting here. The officer will be coming in a few minutes. Please wait here. Okay. Ah, there's my superior officer. He'll clear everything up.
Okay.
Sir, that's a gentleman that's been walking around without a visible ID checking
Hello.
containers.
You always have to wear the ID card.
Sie irgendwo hier gehabt.
Where is your ID?
Da ist sie.
May I have a look? Okay. Always wear it visible, please.
Okay, always on board the ship, okay? So you stay out of trouble. Fine.
Okay.
Very good reaction, Patrick. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay,
Bye.
have a nice day.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Once again, all visitors must wear a visitor's ID card where it can be seen easily. When there is an increased security risk, Access Control Level 2 is declared. Among other things, this means carrying out stricter checks on persons coming on board, similar to those we see at airports. Level 3 is an imminent threat. All levels are set by the administration. An important point to note is that visitors are monitored using a sensor which reacts to metal objects, such as weapons, but also to everyday things like keys or belt buckles. First, the jacket is checked. The helmet is checked visually. A careful inspection of the trunk, arms and legs. Ask visitors to show you any objects they're carrying with them. Feet are checked on a stool to prevent the steel deck from interfering with the sensors. Any baggage carried should be visually inspected. After this, the visitor's ID card can be made out as usual.
Your visitor's ID number is number 3. Okay, the date, 26. Time is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, thank you, sir. Please put this on, always with this clear visible on board our ship. And just wait here. Okay, a member of our security staff will come and collect you in a moment. I'll just have to call.
Level 2 also means that no visitor is permitted to move around on board unaccompanied.
Okay, I have a gentleman here that requests we brought to the captain. Yeah, right. The gentleman will be here in about 2 minutes' time. We'll bring it to the captain. Thank you. Okay, there you are. Okay, and this gentleman will be like to be brought to the captain. All fine. He's wearing his ID. All clear. Okay. Have a nice trip.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Visitors being picked up.
All right.
Unaccompanied baggage on board can be yet another security risk. Unaccompanied is any baggage, including personal effects, which is not with the visitor or member of ship's personnel at the point of inspection or search.
No, put it down. Put down. Put down and come with me. I need you. So, we go.
In this case, a cardboard box is noticed by the duty AB. If you discover an object like this, you must contact your duty officer immediately.
Officer on duty, please come in.
Here, officer on duty.
Yes, sir. We have a problem here. There's an unidentified object.
Where are you on the ship?
I'm on port side. Deck D, exit 2. The unidentified object is a box. It's a carton. I'm waiting for further instructions.
Stay there. I will come.
Briefly describe the object and where it is. Caution: do not do anything else without instructions from your duty officer. Unidentified items may turn up when spare parts or food stores are delivered. Check the items supplied against the list. Count everything carefully.
Okay. Position 30. Okay. Position 50. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and what is with this box here? Yeah, I don't have it on my list here.
I don't know.
Okay, you don't know too, okay? Wait a moment, stop please. No, I don't know either. Okay, I'll have to clear this with my officer. Just a moment, please. Officer on duty, please come in. Yes, sir, I got a problem down here. There's an unclarified box that was about to go aboard. Yes, sir. No, I got 4 clarified articles and 1 unclarified one. Okay, sir, I'll be waiting here. No problem. Okay. Okay, please wait a moment. The officer will be right down. Sir? Okay, sir.
Unidentified items do not belong on board. Consult your duty officer. Only the items that were ordered are taken on board. Everything else remains on the quayside.
Okay, sir.
The awareness and vigilance of a well-trained crew can contribute substantially to the security of a ship.
Hi, Mr. Smith.
Hello?
Let's go up to my office, will you? I'll be right there.
The inspection of visitors must be carried out without exception.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Please sign your name, please.
Yes, okay.
And the company.
What time it is?
Time is 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Okay.
Okay. So this is your ID number. I take this ID.
Okay.
Thank you.
The pilot ladder must be taken in again immediately after use. Anchor hawse holes must be secured in accordance with regulations. The doors to crew's quarters must be locked every time someone leaves. Access to restricted areas, the engine room, the bridge, the steering gear room, must be prevented at all times. Often, even the simplest measures can serve as a deterrent. Making sure the ship is well illuminated while moored at the quay or at anchorage, with no dark corners or deep shadows. Not around the forecastle, nor in passageways, and certainly not in the vicinity of the gangway. Here, uninvited guests will prefer to stay away. But most of all, be aware of the potential dangers that threaten from outside. Observe all security regulations. Keep an eye open for unusual objects or unknown people on board. If any problems arise, consult your SSO. Because at the end of the day, he wants to be able to say,
Everything is fine on this ship, but you must be constantly on the alert.